Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yeah, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And it is the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are back, and we are recovering. Visit us online at beerguysradio.com. We are radio for the local craft beer movement, broadcasting from our flagship studios at AM 920 The Answer in Buckhead, Atlanta. And I'm Aaron Williams.
Aaron, I'm Tim Dennis.
Yes, you are.
I can't believe you stepped on Twiggy there.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Twiggy. Bitty. There you go.
You know what we're doing? We're recovering from GABF this week, so we're off the game just a little bit. We had a heck of a time out there in Denver last week. We're back at it, and we've got an awesome show this week, too.
Yeah.
We're here in the studio, and joining us this week is Spike Buckowski from Terrapin Beer Company. Spike, thanks for coming in.
Gentlemen, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. And he brought some beer, too, so I'm very happy about that.
We're actually doing our pregame in beer, and we have So Fresh and So Green.
Yes.
So good. The fresh hop beer here. 'Tis the season for that.
It
so
is.
Good stuff.
It's a nice, smoother drinking IPA, like we talked about before, kind of a super ESB style, or you know, again, a kind of an English IPA type of style. So it's not a hot bomb like we're used to, but it's nice, man. I like the way this drinks, man. I do.
Yeah.
I really do. So cool. Speaking of drinking, we did a lot of it last week, didn't we?
I had a few beers.
Had a couple beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at the Great American Beer Festival.
So I think we got pretty much the same wrap-up for last week.
I think so, too.
We hung out together. So GABF. Aaron, what were your highlights?
You know what? A couple of highlights. Let's start off with the ones that were outside of GABF. We went, of course, to Falling Rock, which is a classic beer bar in Colorado, and had Pliny the Elder. And it's so funny because it was good. It was fantastic. It's a perfect example of a West Coast IPA. But it's so funny, we were talking off air that there's so many Northeast IPAs out there, and I haven't had a true West Coast IPA in months. So I kind of had to get my taste buds adjusted to the piney, pop bomb of Pliny the Elder. So it was delicious and fantastic. I enjoyed that.
If you're a beer drinker, you have to drink Pliny.
Definitely.
And there's something, I offended a guy at a bottle share not too long ago because he had a bottle of Pliny, and he came up and offered it to me. And I didn't mean it rude, but I turned it down because I knew there were a lot of people there that hadn't had it, and I've had it a few times. So, and I said, "Oh no, thanks. I'll let someone else have it." And I bugged the guy that I turned down his Pliny. I didn't mean it bad, but Pliny is a fantastic beer.
It is. It's one of the classics of American craft beer. A couple of ones that I had at the GABF was actually Jay Wakefield from Miami. They made some awesome beers. A couple of the Berliner Weisses variants they had was the Haterade, which was bright red. It looked just like Hawaiian Punch, and it drank like it, too.
Sure did.
It was so good. But I thought the best one was Miami Madness, and they had a nice tropical fruit Berliner Weiss there. Like I said, so juicy, so delicious. You just didn't even think you were drinking beer. It was really good. So the guys at Jay Wakefield are killing it right now. One of the ones I also liked, too, was from my home state of Washington. Paradise Creek out of Pullman, Washington, had a Huckleberry Pucker. That I think you liked that, too. It was really nice. It was really juicy. It was really fruit-flavored. I wasn't expecting it. It was way over in the corner back in the guild tables, and I don't think anyone really noticed it, but it was there, and it was delicious.
I think it was literally the last table in the very corner, wasn't it?
I really think it was, too. And one of the other ones I liked was from Thirsty Dog out of Akron. They had an Old Choco, which is a mint chocolate stout, and it definitely lived up to the expectations. Just a ton of mint chocolate on there. Delicious. Crooked Stave, we went there on Sunday, kind of recovered. Nightmare on Brett with blueberries, absolutely wonderful. Mockery, we went there on the first day. Shout out the Pineapple IPA was one of my favorite beers of the weekend as well. It's a nice IPA with some peppercorns on it. And that was really nice. And Rare Barrel, we talked to those guys, too.
Yep.
They're ensorcelled sour, which is just absolutely delicious. So tons of great beer.
Sure enough.
Too many to list. How about you?
Absolutely. So just a few off the top of my head. Also from Rare Barrel, the Apropos of Nothing, I really enjoyed, which is their Golden Sour with Lavender and Elderberry. That was really nice. At Crooked Stave, they've got some clean beers they're doing now. Some people may not know that. They're really known kind of outside of the area for their sour beers, or even in Denver, I think, still really known for that. But they did a Coffee Baltic Porter, which is really one of the best ones I've had. That was really nice. Yeah. And I like my passion fruit in beers.
I do.
So they're petite sour.
Don't tell Adam Carolla, but
I
you
know
like
it.
that, yes.
I know it. He's not a fan, but I do. I like it. So their petite sour with passion fruit was really good. At Mockery, everything there was nice. I really enjoyed the party at the Moon Tower, which was their barrel aged imperial porter with vanilla, and there was tons of vanilla in that. I like when a beer says it has vanilla, that there's vanilla.
It's a very rare combination. Yeah,
so
it was good.
Good stuff. Also, Jay Wakefield Haterade. I love that. I mean, straight up like a Hawaiian punch with some tartness to it. Dangerous. Those kind of beers can get dangerous,
Definitely.
man. So the Paradise Creek Huckleberry Pucker, another one I really like. At True, they had one called Ancient Bowl, which is a fruited fooder beer. And I'm really enjoying all the fooder beers I had. I don't know if it's just, it must be something because in each one I get a similar note from the different breweries. So I'm going to seek out some more fooder beers. I like those a lot. So Modern Times Monsters Park, which is their coffee stout.
That's a good one.
When we were at Falling Rock Tap House, we got a bunch of Casey beers. So the Casey Family Preserves Apricot and the Casey The Cut Red, which is the cherry blend, was really good. And we went to an event called Paired, which took small bites and craft beer, paired them together. You had the chefs and the brewers there to talk to you about it. Super, super cool event. Lots of good beers there, but one I specifically remember, Fremont the Lamb, which is a wine barrel aged Brett Saison, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, and Fremont's out of Seattle, and they have a little touch of Brett. It was absolutely wonderful and absolutely delicious. I like that one too.
Good stuff.
Definitely. So speaking of good stuff, we have got some great Truck and Tap beers of the week.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
We've got a few beers of the week, actually, which is always nice. Definitely.
We do. So we did a little pre-gaming with Creature Comforts Epicurious.
Yep, their new table beer.
Which is their table beer. It's Saisonish. It's really nice. It's a great beer. Now, hopheads and that, it's a little departure from what they did there, but that was really good. Right now, we're enjoying So Fresh and So Green from Terrapin. Spike, thanks for bringing this one in.
No problem.
Appreciate it. We also have Leah from over at Terrapin sent us a little goodie bag.
She did.
We have some Moohoo, which is one of my favorites to enjoy. Aaron, you bought a Terrapin Schmaltz Celebration.
Yeah,
16,
the 16.
right?
I grabbed that. So.
And we also have a bottle of Almanac White Label that won a medal out at GABF.
Yeah,
we brought back with us. And that's our beers of the week.
You got to like that. Some really good beers to crack open and enjoy. Again, I really like this So Fresh and So Green version. It's really nice and kind of a nice departure from all the craziness. So we've got some other things to talk about, including the headlines.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
Yeah, we've got some cool headlines going around across the Atlanta area, Alabama, and nationwide. So some interesting news, too, out nationwide. Let me talk about that first of all. Oskar Blues, of course, they've got several breweries there. They're expanding their international distribution. They're going to be actually in 7 different countries right now. So they're going to expand that and really start to grow their craft beer business. Of course, they're kind of exploding there as well. Another thing, too, of course, we had Hurricane Matthew. That's been recently in the news. And some good news from Cartersville, the AB plant, the Budweiser plant up there. They actually sent canned water out to help the victims of Hurricane Matthew. So there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to say it because that's a good.
Don't do
I'm
it.
not going to
Don't
do it.
go there.
I'm not going to go there.
You know what, though, in all seriousness,
No,
they've done that a few times during hurricanes and that they'll stop beer production and canned water to send out. So got to give them props for that. They're helping out where they can.
Exactly. And we've got some new news, too, for folks in Alabama. A brand new brewery is opening. In fact, it's had its soft opening already this week. So if you get a chance, go check that out. It's called Big Beach Brewing Company. It's on Gulf Shores. So kind of there in the coastal area. So if you're in between that Floribama, Pensacola type of area, you have a new brewery to check out. I believe I looked at the TTB, and they're having a brown, an IPA, and something else. I forget. It's off the top of my head, but I know they're having at least 3 beers out on tap there. So starting off slow, but kind of cool to see craft beer kind of growing down in the Gulf area. It's very fun. So, no, actually, one more news I want to talk about, too, by the way. Have you ever heard about the Maine wife carrying competition?
I didn't know it was in Maine. I've heard something about this. I've heard about the wife carrying competition.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the winner of the Maine wife carrying competition, they win beer.
Okay.
So they win their weight in the wife's weight in beer. So I guess you kind of have to have play a long or short game on that one. So do you win by going faster and having a lighter wife, or do you win more beer by going
Do you
bigger?
Get to choose? Is that the way you choose your wife?
Listen, I mean, I'm not going to judge anybody, but if they want to do that. So, but no, it was funny because the winner of the wife carrying competition actually won beer. Goose Island Oktoberfest, to be specific.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Go.
I've heard of that. Great. All right. You're listening to Beer Guys Radio. It's time for us to take a quick break, but we'll be right back, and we're going to crack open a beer, and we're going to chat with Spike from Terrapin Brewing Company.
I'm Josh Rachel. I'm the co-owner and brewmaster at Jekyll Brewing, and you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the beer guy sent you.
Hey, it's Aaron. I want to give a quick shout out to our newest sponsor. It's HopSpot Beer Tours of Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of tours out there, but what makes HopSpot Beer Tours different? Well, you get exposure. There's more to Atlanta craft beer than just breweries. A HopSpot Beer Tour gives you the who, what, where, and when to craft beer right here in Atlanta and the state. Education. Whether you're a native, a transplant, or a visitor, you'll always learn something new. And connection. HopSpot connects you to guests, local breweries, and businesses to create those lasting relationships. We invite you to check out what makes HopSpot different. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram at HopSpotATL, and of course, visit HopSpotBeerTours.com. Use promo code BeerGuys10 and receive 10% off your order. HopSpot Beer Tours. Hop on, get connected. That's HopSpotBeerTours.com.
It's Aaron and Tim, the beer guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out, Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the beer guys sent you.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo!
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Woo! Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show, beerguysradio.com. And we are broadcasting from the AM 920 The Answer studios in Atlanta, and we are talking Terrapin. Spike Buckowski joins us in studio this week. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out and traveling through Atlanta traffic to get from Athens here. That's a bear.
So much fun. So much fun, this traffic.
Enjoyable.
I love it so much.
You like how we timed it out to get you here right
Perfect.
around that
6
rush
o'clock,
hour?
I mean, couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Definitely. So now before we get into the conversation, we've got beer that hasn't
we
been
do.
opened.
Do we need to open another one?
I
Are
think
you ready?
We do. And
I'm still working on So Fresh and So Green.
Okay, well,
but you know what I've got right here?
What you got? Oh.
I have some Luau Crunkles.
Aloha.
Ooh. So there we go. We'll get this around for. I see a few empty glasses here in the studio.
We do. So now, Spike, the cool thing, my dad was in the Navy. He was stationed in Hawaii for several years. And the Passion Orange Guava is like a traditional Hawaiian drink.
That is correct.
What was your inspiration behind this?
Absolutely. And unfortunate, it's kind of weird because we drank, I don't go around and drink a whole bunch of pog juice, but when we had it, we're like, wow, we should actually do a beer out of it. So yeah, that was kind of fun to try to sit down and get those flavors in this beer, and I think we nailed it. It's just a very refreshing, and the aroma on that is just really big and tropical.
Yeah, you get that citrus on the nose, and you get a little bit of that bitterness right in the middle, and then kind of get the fruit on the back of it is what I really feel. It's really good. So now, Spike, tell us a little bit about your craft beer story. What got you into this crazy business?
Man, I was pretty much sick of wearing a suit and tie. And, being a homebrewer I started homebrewing about 1993, and I decided to trade my suit and tie for some brewer's boots. So in 1996, fall of 96, I went to American Brewers Guild in Woodland, California, and graduated there and got my first brewing job. I actually did my internship at Phoenix Brewing Company, which is now 5 Seasons in Sandy Springs. But then got my first brewing job at Atlanta Brewing Company when it was on William Street back around 97, 98. And, pretty much rest is history.
So are you a native here of the Atlanta area?
I'm not. I'm originally from Connecticut, so I'm a Yankee.
Don't hold it against you. I am too, so it's okay.
Right.
It's interesting. We've said a few times when we talk to the people here that have started breweries, it always fascinates me to see how interconnected everyone is, being Atlanta Brewing Company and going up from there. There's just so many people that have started breweries that they were over here or over there. Everybody knows each other.
It's an incestuous little world, exactly. Small world. I wouldn't call it that, but it's kind of bad. But everyone knows each other, right? And they kind of work here and work here.
Sure. Absolutely. Yep. So, Spike, something a lot of people have opinions on here lately with Terrapin, and I guess the biggest news. So we'll chat about that a little bit if you don't mind. Is recently majority percentage of the company was acquired by 10th and Blake, division of Miller. Mm-hmm. So with that, it's been rumored for a long time. I think any brewery that grows to a certain bit, people start to talk that. So. Sure. At this, what was with the timing and the reasoning for making that move?
We've been, I can say we've been holding hands with these guys for the past 5 years and really love the relationship. And, when we looked, when we started doing our future planning and looking down the road on what was happening in the beer industry and what's going to happen in the beer industry, it kind of made sense. As you may or may not know, my business partner, John Cochran, he went on to go open or take over a little brew pub up in Asheville.
Right. Mm-hmm.
His situation was a little bit different than mine, right? So he's got 3 kids, a wife. His kids, his oldest is probably going to go to college here in a year or two. Mm-hmm. People's lives change and direction of companies change, but for us, it was a no-brainer. We are with a great group of people. If you guys probably heard the news, I am now part of the largest American-owned brewery in the country, which is kind of interesting, being Molson Coors. We have 2 headquarters now. One's in Denver, one's in Canada. I'm really proud to actually be involved or be partnered with a brewing company. Mm-hmm. And as you guys know, and as you've seen, these other breweries either combine forces or get totally bought out or take investment money from independent people and whatnot. It's happening out there.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about our venture is that if I was, let's just say I happen to take or sell to some investment bankers or some independent capital, I can't call them on the phone tomorrow and go, hey, man, my lager yeast is acting a little weird. Can you tell me what's going on here? Or I have a sulfur problem. I can pick up the phone and talk to some of the best minds in the business, and it's kind of comforting that we have that technical ability to call these people and talk to them and chat beer.
Yeah, I know it's interesting, Spike. We talked to the guys from Goose Island when we were at GABF, and they said the same thing when they were going through their whole Bourbon County infection issue. Mm-hmm. They were able to get great R&D and great scientists behind to try and figure out what the heck was going on, and they said that was a big help for them.
Yeah, and for me, it's always about learning. Myself and my team, if we're not learning things every day or during the week, then you just don't progress. And the beer industry, whether it's a new style or a new yeast strain or new fermentation temperature, or now you've got these new, we were talking earlier about these East Coast IPAs and how they're made, and it's just amazing the beer industry in the U.S. how it changes and ebbs and flows and. You got Florida Vice, right?
Yep.
This new style. Now you got North Coast or East Coast IPA. So it's just a great industry to be in. It really is.
I just wanted to comment here on Luau Crunkle Spike because I just poured it, popped the can fresh and poured it. Mm-hmm. Man, the aroma on that is just popping. The orange and passion fruit especially. And
thank you.
Just a nice balanced IPA. Mm-hmm. Good fruitiness. It's tasty beer.
Yeah,
Spike,
and the interesting part with this, if you guys have followed the Legend of Crunkles, the only way you can get this beer is in our mixed 12-pack. Should be hitting the stores soon. We will have some draft as well, but it's just interesting. Our Crunkles character has traveled all over the world. He was just in New Zealand and Australia. That's why we had Crunkles Down Under. But he's been Dr. Crunkles, Indiana Crunkles, Captain Crunkles. And it's just this saga that we're looking for Captain Crunkles, the best IPA brewer in the world, and we travel around the world and try to find him. So.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of IPAs.
Seems like a good way to do it.
That's right. It's a dirty job, but someone's going to do it.
Right.
Exactly. So
now, Spike, with the changes, what's your personal plans from here? Hanging in there, growing, and
yeah. Basically, what happened is, we went from a majority owner to a minority owner, right? So I still have stake in the company. I'm not going anywhere. I love the industry. I love Terrapin. I love what I do. So if I'm happy, why change?
Okay.
So I'm good.
Now, in the short term, any big changes for Terrapin with this?
A couple new markets. So I think by the end of the year, we should probably fill out Tennessee. We're going to Memphis. And then we are looking into Kentucky and Ohio. but no huge changes. I mean, slow growth and, take care of your backyard.
Sure.
And, just try to get into more chains, into more placements and things like that.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I tell you one more quick question here.
Yeah.
We got a couple minutes before the break. So I read a news story lately. They mentioned you in regards to GABF and the recategorization and all of that. So did that affect? Did you send beers to GABF this year?
We only sent 2. Unfortunately, we didn't win anything, but 2 beers out of how many thousands?
Yes,
But yeah, I mean, we're now with a bigger family, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was limited to 20 beers. Mm-hmm. So we got 2 of those.
So you have to submit now because you're part of Miller Coors as far as they look at it, right?
Correct.
So you out of all of the Miller Coors companies, they can get 20 in their total. Is that right?
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
As far as I know, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were there any other changes from the Brewers Association in that? Well, I think I know the answer to this, but that will have an impact on Terrapin?
Do our dues go up? I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still, bottom line is, to me, in my heart, I'm still a craft brewer. I'm still located in Athens, Georgia. I still go to work every day and brew beer, and it's just, I don't know. A definition is a definition, right? We went from craft brewers being capped at 2 million barrels a couple years ago to now they're capped at 6.
Right. Well, that's something that, Aaron and I have talked about it a lot, and opinions change when you talk to people on both sides of this, and like talking to the Goose Island guys or talking with you, Spike.
Yep.
The people there are still the same people they were before that happened, so it's not a black and white thing, as far as I'm concerned. So
exactly. We'll talk more about this and crack open some more beers. Terrapin Spike Buckowski is with us on the Beer Guys Show. We'll be back after this.
The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. BeerGuysRadio.com.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guys sent you.
Hey, this is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We've got some really awesome things that are coming soon that will help us engage with you some more. We're not going to lie to you, though. It takes time, effort, and money to produce this show every week. So if you'd like to be part of the Beer Guys family, we would love your help. Head to patreon.com/beerguys to become a sponsor. We're not going to beg. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But hey, we've got some great swag for those who become a sponsor, and you'll be among the first to know about the great things that are coming to the Beer Guys universe. Again, that's patreon.com, patreon.com/beerguys, or you can go to beerguysradio.com and click the sponsor link. We thank you for your support, and cheers.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
Ahoy there, mateys! Hunting whales? We've got you covered with Tim's Whale of the Week.
You've got a really good Whale of the Week.
Man,
at the
we've
top
got
of the
some
list.
good stuff here.
I'm a fan, yes.
Wild Heaven Emmylou.
We get a chance to try that a couple of weeks ago. We had Eric and Wayne Wombles on, and it's fantastic. I love this beer.
The first one in their fruited sour series. It has, I forget the fruits. It's 5 different fruits. Barrel aged beers, 12 to 18 months old, blended together, and just a great beer.
It really is.
I mean, just really nice. That released at the brewery this morning. So the brewery release is over now. Maybe they still have some bottles. I don't know. Go by there and check. They said it may see very limited retail distribution. So this is the Georgia Whale, y'all. You need to get out there and search for it.
Need
That's
that
going to
in
be
your
one
life.
you
It's
want.
fantastic.
So, yes. Now, another one that was released yesterday up at Cherry Street. They've done a couple bottle releases. Cherry Street's Hog Call, which is a barrel-aged smoked quad with cherries.
Nice.
So super limited quantity on that one, and you got to go up to Cumming to the brew pub to get it, but it's worth the trip.
Yeah, and
so
they're
go
only,
up there,
they're only
check it out.
bottling 100, 200
It's like
bottles.
100
It's crazy.
something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's we got the Dame beer when it released a little while ago, and that beer is just phenomenal.
Exactly.
Just amazing beer. So, smoked beers aren't my thing necessarily. Some I like, so I may not run for this one, but if you like smoked beers, I'm sure Cherry Street does it well.
Definitely.
Go out there and check it out. So, and if you're over in Alabama, Fairhope's Jester, which is a golden sour with mango and habanero. So it's a release from them a few days ago. Take a look for that one.
Excellent. Whales of the week. Very good.
Whales.
So, hey, we've got not necessarily a whale. I wouldn't call this one a whale, but we're going to crack this one open. The Moohoo.
Oh yeah,
this
is a faithful one. This one comes back to us every year.
Absolutely.
So it's one I love to come around and just enjoy. So there we go.
Yes, Terrapin Spike Buckowski, of course, is in the house with us today. So thank you for.
You know what I want to say again?
Yes.
Thanks to Leah over at Terrapin.
She's awesome.
Who keeps us posted on what's going on at Terrapin. She sends us goodie bags and she sends us beer. So thank you so much, Leah. We appreciate it.
But not through the mail.
No,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yes, not through the official mail. So anyway, again, talking with Spike Buckowski from Terrapin. Thanks for making the trek to Atlanta from lovely Athens. I wish it was the opposite way around. I'd actually prefer going there. But let's talk beer. You've got a really nice year-round lineup, several, including your High Five IPA, Recreation Ale, Sound Check Pales, and then there's one that kind of throws me off for a loop whenever I see it, and it's your Liquid Bliss. Yeah, kind of an anomaly, but still a delicious anomaly.
Yeah, for a year round, interesting decision there.
Yeah, well, that was some of our year round beers actually start as a side project or a one off or something like that. So originally, when we did Liquid Bliss, I actually put real peanut butter in the boil. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is when we had our 25-barrel system. And then what we did is we actually drove down to South Georgia and we picked up green peanuts and came back and we boiled them for like 4 or 5 hours and we dry nutted the beer. So we put the peanuts inside the beer. Well, okay, so that was all fine and good. But then, a year or so later when sales came to me and go, we have to really, everybody's screaming for Liquid Bliss. I'm like, guys, you got to understand, we can't use real peanuts in there because, if Joe and Mary Beer can pick up a can of that or a bottle of that, and drink it and their throat closes off, okay, Joe and Mary Beer Can, a.k.a. Terrapin Beer Company, down the drain.
Right. That's right.
But no, it's been great for us. We love it. It's our sticky beer, and people dig it.
So
it's great.
And it's funny because I see a lot of more peanut butter porter type beers making the rounds now.
Enough so there was a sign going into GABF that said, "Warning: peanut allergies." There's beers out here that use peanuts. So it's good. Now we're sipping Moohoo. We just talked about.
Delicious.
This is chocolate milk.
Yeah, this one just came out. I'm thinking it's out on the market now, but we really, we know it's fall because we've got so many stouts and porters coming down the pike. But Moohoo is one of my sentimental favorites. Just a dreamy liquid chocolate milk stout. Really, really like this one. So.
Now, one of my favorite releases that you had, a seasonal specialty release, was your 4-pack of the single origin coffee stouts.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. And, kind of I always say I'm kind of more of a beer rookie than Tim is. It was a real nice way to kind of sample the 4 beers and see how the coffee made such a drastic effect on it, each different type of one. How did that work for you, and how did you guys bring that about?
Man, it's kind of crazy because I always forget on how these ideas come up. It's either a beer name or sometimes an idea, but we sit around in rooms and just bounce ideas back and forth. But we have this great relationship with Jittery Joe's, and anytime we can pick their brain to figure out what we want to do and have coffee and a beer, because who doesn't like beer and coffee? We went to a cupping at Jittery Joe's. We just started to taste these coffees, and we're like, how cool would it be to make one beer, right, and dose it with 4 different coffees.
Right.
And, we went for it, and it went great. It will.
And 4 very different beers when you drink them. The coffee
definitely.
made a big difference.
And it was kind of funny because I had never brewed a stout that really didn't taste like a stout. What I tried to do was basically make a stout that didn't taste like anything, so the coffee would lend all its flavor. And that was pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
Because if you had the stout out of the tank, you're like, yeah, whatever. But as soon as you add that fifth element, that's where it all popped. And this year is going to be a little bit different, so rest assured it's coming back.
Good.
But we're going to do a big brown ale. Well, not big. It's going to be about 6.5%, but it's going to be a brown ale as the base.
Okay.
So
very cool.
So yeah,
Coffee brown ales are good. You know, I said
Yeah.
brown ales. I haven't found a lot of brown ales that on their own I enjoy. But you add a coffee, a vanilla, a coconut, something to them.
Like
brown ales really showcase.
Brown is fantastic. Yeah,
right.
That's a really
So
good one.
they really showcase those flavors really well. So I'm excited for that one.
Me too.
Sounds good.
And what's really interesting about that, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know, because they really did taste totally different. And some people, you know, would like the Zimbabwe, some people like this, that, and you just never knew who was going to like what. So it was a really cool experiment to basically stand there or sit there and drink all 4 of those and pick your favorite one.
I think 4 of us tried it, and all 4 of us had different ones that we liked most.
We did.
It was kind of
There was some
interesting.
consistency there, but definitely, you know, differences. And some of the characteristics, like I don't like a lot of acidity in coffee.
Okay.
So there were some people that like that are like, oh, this is really nice, you know, nice acidity, and, which was the reason I didn't necessarily care for that one quite as much. So it's you know, anyhow, it was a lot of fun to check that out.
Exactly.
So
it was fun.
something I wondered when that came out, are any of those, was the intention with that to see which one was most popular for a single release, or was it just a fun project there?
Not really. It was just a cool idea.
Right.
That, you know, I think it was probably Dustin that thought of it, but I don't remember who thought of the idea. And then, you know, once we get onto an idea, we got to do it.
Go with it.
How crazy it is. I mean, talk about logistical nightmare to put one bottle.
That's true.
Right? Oh yeah,
of each
absolutely.
beer into
I
a
mean,
4-pack.
totally manual, right?
Come
You
on,
just don't have any way to do it with that. Yeah.
So, or those stupid wax bottles that we do.
Yes. Well, I'm glad to see. Did you soften the wax on the last one?
Oh man,
I knew you did, man.
How crazy is that? We called them like, I think it was last year. And we're like, hey, we want to re-up some wax, blah blah blah, and they're like, okay, what do you use? And we're like, we use this, and they go like, that's not bottle wax. Whoops. You've been selling that to us for 3 years, and it's not bottle wax. Yeah, people cut their finger off to get in that, but yes, it's a new wax, easier to get into.
That was
Yeah.
always the fun of the bottle share. Is
Oh yeah,
who had to take the half hour to open the bottle of Terrapin beer?
Exactly. So sorry, folks, but yeah, we're back on track. We'll get it right.
Good deal. Yeah.
Now, one of my favorite collabs you did was with Richland Rum. We're going to be weeks, but
Awesome.
you know, that's a really nice. It's interesting to put a IPA on a barrel aged.
Yep.
But it didn't taste anything like an IPA at all. Of course, when it came out, absolutely fantastic. We tried that earlier this year. Again, you have many more future collaborations with Richland planned?
Yeah.
Maybe?
So you remember that little beer that we made? Was it last year called Tiramisu?
Yes.
Well, what is tiramisu made with?
Oh, it's made with rum.
Oh yes. Okay.
So,
All right.
Probably early next year.
Okay.
You will see the tiramisu aged in Richland rum barrels. So very excited about
nice.
that. Yep.
Definitely.
Give away
sounds
all
good.
my secrets.
I'm sorry. That's what we do. That's our job.
That's what we want here. Absolutely.
Exactly.
You know, we need to take a quick break here. We're going to come back in just a few minutes, talk a little more with Spike Buckowski. You listen to Beer Guys Radio. We're broadcasting from the AM 920 Answer Studios in Buckhead, Atlanta, and we'll be right back.
This is Neil Engelman, Brewmaster, Wrecking Bar Brew Pub, and you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guy sent you.
Hey, it's Aaron. I want to give a quick shout out to our newest sponsor. It's HopSpot Beer Tours of Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of tours out there, but what makes HopSpot Beer Tours different? Well, you get exposure. There's more to Atlanta craft beer than just breweries. A HopSpot Beer Tour gives you the who, what, where, and when to craft beer right here in Atlanta and the state. Education. Whether you're a native, a transplant, or a visitor, you'll always learn something new. And connection. HopSpot connects you to guests, local breweries, and businesses to create those lasting relationships. We invite you to check out what makes HopSpot different. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram at HopSpotATL, and of course, visit HopSpotBeerTours.com. Use promo code BeerGuys10 and receive 10% off your order. HopSpot Beer Tours. Hop on, get connected. That's HopSpotBeerTours.com. Hey, this is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Beer Guys radio show. We've got some really awesome things that are coming soon that will help us engage with you some more. We're not going to lie to you, though. It takes time, effort, and money to produce this show every week. So if you'd like to be part of the Beer Guys family, we would love your help. Head to patreon.com/beerguys to become a sponsor. We're not going to beg. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But hey, we've got some great swag for those who become a sponsor, and you'll be among the first to know about the great things that are coming to the Beer Guys universe. Again, that's patreon.com, patreon.com/beerguys, or you can go to beerguysradio.com and click the sponsor link. We thank you for your support, and cheers.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I believe you have my stapler.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys radio show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website, and we are here chatting with Terrapin Spike Buckowski, drinking some delicious beer and just kind of seeing how things are going over in Athens.
Having a good time.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Spike, I want to travel back in time a little bit here with you, if you don't mind. And you are the third oldest production brewery in the state of Georgia.
As far as you know.
Just just behind, who is it? We've got Red Brick and Sweetwater.
Yep.
So all you guys within a few years of each other there. You opened in 2002, correct?
Yep.
So that's something, we're talking a span of 14 years, which on one hand seems like a long time, on another not, to see the growth there. So, what's been some things that have kind of been surprising you, either good or bad, over the last 14 years of owning the brewery in Georgia?
Man, well, I guess we can sit here and talk all day about Georgia law.
Sure,
so we'll just kind of gloss over that one. As you guys know, that's kind of
a little crazy. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a good
There
word.
you go.
Crazy,
We'll use
crazy is
that,
a good word. But for me, it's how far Georgia has come with just beer styles in general, just beer knowledge from consumers. When I started, really, rye pale ale, you know how aggressive that was 14 years ago?
Yeah.
And how hard it was to sell at a bar or anywhere else because people just didn't know what the heck they were drinking.
Well, yeah, Nick from Sweetwater was talking about that and how they were just making brown ales because that was the most approachable beer they could get. Yeah.
I saw an interview with you, Spike, and I forget which beer it was, but I think you made the comment, well, it's a pretty big beer. It's like 7%.
Right.
And that, boy, that's mid-level these days.
That's funny. Because I just got back from London about a month ago, and, 3.5,
right,
3.8, 4. So, yeah, it's changed. Obviously, when we, popped the cap, so to speak, and that's when we came out with our Monster Beer Tour and put all those crazy beers out, Big Hoppy Monster and Wake and Bake and Monk's Revenge and all that. What's nice about us, I think we've always stayed relevant with our beer styles and just the way we brew and just the elements and ingredients we bring into the beers. So, it's crazy. American brewing, like everything else in America, the bigger, the better, the bolder, the crazier you can actually make it. Personally, for me, that's why I came out with the Czech Pilsner, because that's my favorite beer style. And I love Pilsners.
It's funny. Yeah, a lot of people are kind of coming back to those classic, traditional drinking beer styles, and they're after all those bourbon barrel-aged, heavy beers. We're going back to those 4% and 5% beers now.
And I get all that. And don't get me wrong, I do like the crazy off-the-wall beers. But, when I walk into a brewery and someone hands me a Kolsch or an alt beer or a Helles or a Pilsner that is just to die for, That to me is a sign of a great brewer.
Right.
Because you can't hide behind that.
Exactly.
You're only using 4 ingredients to bring that out. Now, if I add, which I do, I make some weird stuff. I add all that stuff together and come out with, a ginger habanero strawberry doodah beer. Okay, that's cool. I don't know what to expect.
When's
I
that
don't know
one coming out?
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah.
I mean, I don't know
the
what
doodah makes the extra
the
element.
doodah.
Exactly.
You got to have the doodah.
You gotta have it.
But I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to taste like. So when you taste it, you're like, oh yeah, I get all that doodah flavor.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, good. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned the Hellas. We sat down with Sam Adams out at GABF, and they have, I think it's called Fresh as Hellas.
Yes.
I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
A fantastic Hellas lager.
Always been a Sam Adams beer.
And that's something that, we actually mentioned to them. It's like, is Sam Adams still cool? Because they don't get as much talk,
love,
I guess, or love as they used to. But that was a fantastic beer, and I'd stop just short of saying but almost every brewer we talk to talks about the lagers and the Hellas, and that's I want to brew this. This is when you say what do you want to brew? It's not IPAs and barrel aged this and that.
Exactly.
It's I want to make a really good lager. They would like people to appreciate those kinds of beers more.
Exactly.
Speaking of Sam Adams, I mean, I say this in almost every interview, if the question comes up or not, is that Sam Adams or Jim Cook got me drinking craft beer.
Oh, me too. Me too. Yeah.
John Meyer from Rogue got me brewing great craft beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a John Meyer fan till the end. I mean, that guy in Rogue is just. He's my brewing idol. He really is. And so
I got to say to Jim Cook out there, I got to tell him that he got me down the path of craft beer and shake his hand. That was a pretty cool experience out there. So
absolutely.
Speaking of beer, Aaron, we've got one here that you want to talk about before we have to wrap
one last
up, right?
one. Of course, we're going to talk about Hellas lagers and pilsners. We're going to go completely opposite on this one. And this is the reunion ale that you brewed in collaboration with Schmaltz Brewing.
Yep.
We talked to Jeremy Cowan from Schmaltz a couple of months ago. Tell us about this one. This is an annual thing that you guys do with those guys.
Annual thing, annual beer. This one, chocolate, ginger, cocoa nibs, a little bit of pepper. We try to add a new ingredient every year. It's kind of getting packed with ingredients. But it's
Doodah next year,
Doodah.
right?
It might be Doodah next year. So, we just try to have a lot of fun with it, and it's a great for a great cause. We've been, I think, brewing this with Alan Shapiro and Pete's from Pete's Wicked Ale for the past 7 or 8 years now, and I think ourselves and Schmaltz 4 or 5 years in a row now. So, it's just a great big kitchen sink, if you will, type beer.
Get a little bit of that heat on the back end. That's nice.
This is not a simple Hellas lager.
No, it's certainly not.
That it's not.
So, yeah.
That it's not. So.
Excellent. Well, Spike from Terrapin, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, it is time, Tim, for the hot list.
Time for the hot list. The beer guys have the scoop on what you need to know for next week.
That's hot.
So, Alabama folks, I'm going to kind of eschew the Alabama hot list for this week because there's so many things going on. Check out beerguysradio.com for the complete list of the Alabama beer list. You got stuff going
Aaron,
on, though.
I thank you for doing that because you're giving it to Georgia this week.
That's right.
So we're kicking off Atlanta Beer Week this week. So
very cool.
Now, for those of you familiar with Atlanta Beer Week, you may know it's had some stumbling blocks in the last few years. This year is going to be small. Don't expect huge things out of it.
Yeah.
But the intentions are to get it moving again, get it headed in the right direction, get a few events, and we've got some great events coming up.
Sure.
So get out there. Starting today, all through the week, Brickstore Pub is doing their ITP versus OTP versus WOTP.
Way OTP. So go out there. They're going to have beers that they feature each day from these different breweries. And check out the details on this event and others at atlantabeerweek.com. So also Decatur Beer Fest is today. It's a great one. Yeah.
If you don't have tickets, I don't know if that one's sold out or not.
I'm not sure yet either, but that's
but
always
it does
a good one, yeah.
frequently sell out. So, great beer fest, and then a little 5 Points is a Halloween parade. So tomorrow is Sunday Fun Day at Your Pie Perimeter. All day long, they're going to have featured beers for only $3.14. Also, horror movie night at 3 taverns, and they're going to show Friday the 13th there.
Oh, the original, the classic.
'Tis the season.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
So, on Tuesday, Second Self is going to have their progressive bar crawl dinner. That's going to be at several locations in Decatur. Check out our website or Second Self's Facebook for more details on that. That is an Atlanta Beer Week event. On Wednesday, locals only barrel-aged beers are tapping at the Porter.
Nice.
Another Atlanta Beer Week event. On Thursday, IPA Blind Flight at Brickstore Pub. They've done this before. I think it's from 11 to 6 p.m. You can taste a blind flight of IPAs, and at 8 p.m. they're going to announce a winner. You get to pick your favorites. They're going to see who reigns supreme there. And then on also Thursday, Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter featuring Anchor Brewing, and again featuring selected pints for only $3.14.
You know, Anchor Brewing is another one of those that kind of gets overlooked, but it's still a fantastic beer.
Originators there.
Absolutely. It's good stuff. So a couple minutes left. What do you think of this beer, this Schmaltz beer?
It's good. It's lots going on in it. It's tasty beer.
Yeah, I really kind of like the heat at the back end. And like I said, it's a really nice thing, and it's a good cause, too. So
I get cocoa on the nose there. So
yeah, me too. So I'm really enjoying this. Definitely. So, hey, you've got a big bag of stuff from Terrapin.
Yeah.
Maybe we should give some of that away instead of you keeping it all. No? Okay. Well, then never mind. We'll skip it.
No, we're going to give it all away. That's how we do it, man. That's how we do it.
Exactly.
So this is our giveaway to give away, and our winner this week is Joel Glagowski. Joel, please forgive me if I said your name wrong. Hopefully you understand it. I said it clear enough for you to know that I'm talking to you.
Joel.
And Joel, drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com to claim your swag pack. Aaron, if someone else wants to enter to win all this awesomeness, how would they do that?
Well, Tim, it's easy. All you have to do is just head over to beerguysradio.com and sign up for This Week at Georgia Beer. And you'll get not only the great list of things that are going on in Georgia Beer. I can't do that voice very long.
It was a good try. You hung in there for a while, though.
That's right. You can get a list of all the things that are going on across the state of Georgia, beer releases, events, all that kind of stuff, and get it in your inbox every Friday morning, and we don't spam you, promise. So sign up for that, and you'll be automatically entered to win our swag pack from all of our sponsors and our friends here at Beer Guys Radio. Just about time to wrap things up.
Getting there.
Yeah, next week we've got a really cool interview. I'm looking forward to this one.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to do a little history lesson for folks, learning some new things. Author and historians Ron Smith and Mary O'Boyle will be in the studio, so we'll learn about the history of craft beer. And
they
just
wrote
beer
the book
general.
on it. Atlanta Beer.
Literally.
I think it's called The Heady History of Brewing in the Hub of the South, and Prohibition in Atlanta, about Prohibition in Atlanta.
Very cool. Excellent. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio. Again, thanks for listening. Check us out on the socials all week long. Drink local, and we'll talk to you next week. Cheers.